Welcome in, guys. Episode 69
Nice.
of the C4OL podcast. I'm your host, ElectricityWave, and I am joined today with the illustrious, the beautiful, the fantastic, the handsome Mr. Stadium Beats. And
That's me.
we have a lot to talk about this week. We're going to go over Apex Season 8 dropping, got a new legend, new gun, new patch notes, a lot of stuff. We got a lot of questions submitted from the Storm Discord, so thank you so much for submitting those questions. We're going to cover as many as we can this week, and whatever we don't cover will be for next week. But we're going to talk about Apex, the questions, Brawlhalla, and fighting games in general, and then the GoldenEye remaster that leaked. But before we get into that, we're going to shout out and read out our 5-star review on Apple Podcasts this week by the wonderful JC's Anime Reviews. Shout out to Jordan. We appreciate you for listening. Thank you. He says, "This is one of my favorite podcasts. I love listening to this podcast. It has such a chill vibe, and the chemistry between Mike and Sean is great. I also always enjoy listening to your guys' opinion on gaming, streaming, and anything else. Keep up the great work, and I'm hoping the podcast continues to grow." Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. I love so much hearing that.
Yes, it's so nice hearing. Even though you might think like they're not gonna care, it's like a basic comment. It really does mean the world to us. So anything you leave on YouTube, social media, if you DM me that you listen to it, like it really does mean a lot because it gives us feedback. And just lets us know that you're enjoying the podcast and the episodes. So thank you so much to Jordan, JC Anime Reviews. We appreciate you.
We sure do.
And if you want to leave a 5-star review, it's on Apple Podcasts. It'll be in the description. So we do read those out. So shout out to everyone who's reviewed the podcast so well in the 69 weeks that we've been recording. But before we get into any topics, we're going to talk about, do some, catching up. What's your week been like? Because last time we talked about, the album, it might be dropping. Do we have a date now?
Yes and no. If you're listening to this, depending on your DSP, your digital service provider of choice, it might be out right this very second. You might be able to go on there, search Stadium Going Live, and it might be right up in there. I know for a fact I can say as of the 3rd, February 3rd, it is on Tidal and Apple Music. It's on there for sure. And it should be up on Spotify any day now. The second it is, I'll tweet it out and I'll let you know. That's when I'm going to do the big old, like, it's out now, go blah, 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 is when it's on Spotify and everywhere else. So right now it's trickling out. It's going to be on my YouTube. You should be able to just go listen to it on YouTube right now too. The old songs have been there. 4 new songs today, the day you're listening to this podcast, 4 new songs on there. And stream it to your heart's content. It's also on Bandcamp. You can download it high quality for free on Bandcamp. I also set it up so where you can name your price too. So if you put nothing, you just download it and you just have it. Or if you want to support me directly, you can spend $1 billion on it if you want to. That'd be great. So whatever you want to do. Yeah, whatever you want to do, just go download on Bandcamp because Bandcamp's awesome. And that's the word on the album. It seems to have been a pretty smooth rollout, I gotta say.
Yeah, and just to clarify for content creators, streamers, YouTubers, whoever creates content, this is DMCA free, which means you can use it, listen to it, whatever. So sometimes it might not be clear enough, but you can listen to it. Sean will not sue you. You're good. So enjoy the music and support them.
Yeah, if I go into a stream, if I go into a stream or click on a video and I hear the music, I'm not gonna get all rageful and DMCA your ass. I'm gonna get hype and be like, hell yeah, that's my stuff, and then get all excited. So do that. Spread the word. All retweets are super, super welcoming and supportive. That's probably the best thing you could do besides listening to it is just retweet it. Because the more eyes, the better. Everyone and their mom is a music producer these days, so it's hard to get my name out there. And yeah, I love the support, of course. Yep.
A lot of time went into this, so we appreciate anyone. Let us know your thoughts on it too. If you're listening to this podcast after the album is out, let us know your thoughts.
Tell me what your favorite song is.
Favorite song?
Yeah, that's something I would love to know because everything it's so, I don't know, because I have obviously such a biased opinion on them all, and I have my favorites, but I want to know, because sometimes I'll put out a song and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good, I want to put it out, and then I'll see some people say like, yo, this is your best one yet, and I'm like, oh cool, like I didn't think that, but that's cool that other people connect with it like that. I love hearing that.
Exactly. So other than the album, what's been going on in the life of Stadium?
To be fair, not too much. It was a big fighting game weekend with a lot of good, big tournaments going on. I actually participated in one. I forgot about this. Yeah, so I might have mentioned it last week. I don't remember, but I participated in my very first Guilty Gear tournament on Saturday. It was on Frosty Faustings, and it was such a well-ran tournament. It was awesome. The commentators were great. The Discord went really well. So what you did is you signed up on Smash GG, and then you joined the Discord. So then they put you in your bracket, all that stuff. All the bracket runners, everything was so cool. Everyone was great. It ran super smoothly. No issues at all. My very first round opponent didn't show up, so I got an automatic double flawless victory in the round 1 games. Yeah, totally smoked them. So I advanced to round 2, and then I lost my round 2 match, which then put me into the losers bracket, and then I lost my losers bracket match and got eliminated. So I went 0-2 in the tournament, but it's all good. I had a lot of fun. It was my first tournament. In general, it was my first tournament in a long time, and it was my first Guilty Gear tournament ever. Yeah. So I feel like I held my own. Every round was actually really close. If just maybe like 1 or 2 things would have went my way, I would, or if I would have made like 1 or 2 better decisions, I could have taken some games, and it was a lot of fun. Definitely can't wait to do it again. I might do another Guilty Gear tournament before Strive comes out, the new big game, and that I'm going to be all over that game. Can't wait.
Did you select your character based on like what they did, or would you just stick with your main?
I stuck with my main. I've stuck it out since I'm still really new to Guilty Gear and learning the mechanics themselves. I haven't been able to do like a deep dive into each character yet. So, or like I've been able to, I just haven't really. So I just picked my boy Kai, and I picked him when I first started playing the series at all because he kind of looks like me. So that's, and he has a long ass sword. So he has good reach. And like his whole thing is lightning, and he looks really cool. That's what drew me to him initially. And I do really like his gameplay styles, and he's one of the main characters. So he's in every Guilty Gear game. And I just stuck with him no matter who they picked, and it was a ton of fun.
That's sick. Yeah, you got to get in one of a Mortal Kombat tournament. That'd be fun to see how well you do, because that's like your main fighting game. So I fucked up. I kind of fucked up getting Mortal Kombat on PC. Like I'm glad I did, just because of the platform and everything. But every Mortal Kombat tournament takes place on PlayStation. Even Frosty Faustings was on PlayStation, so I could have signed up for Mortal Kombat tournament if I had it on PS4, but I don't, so I'll just either have to re-buy it on PS5 or just make sure to get the new one on PS5 if there's Mortal Kombat 12 in like 4 years or whatever, who knows. But yeah, since I have the game on PC, just no tournaments for me, unfortunately. Well, that sounds fun. Tournaments are really fun. They're exciting. You know, it's a lot of like, it's not just like any online match. Like you're just like, damn, this means something. So yeah. It was a ton of fun. Highly recommended. Don't let your nerves get the best of you. Not just for fighting games, just like any game tournaments or any like community events, anything like that. It's always so much fun. Because if you think about it, half of the people are losing first round. So that's 50% of the people. You're like, oh, I'm going to go in there and suck and get kicked out. Half the people lose the first round. And then if it's a double elimination like this one was, then half the people lose that too. So 25% of everybody went 0-2. So like nobody cares if you lose. Just get your experience up. Because then the next game, or the next time I enter a tournament, that's less nerves. I have more experience, and you're just trying to learn the game and have fun. Exactly. Anything else besides the fighting tournament?
Not really. Nothing really to speak of. Just been doing some stuff with the pod, as you guys will see in the future. Yeah. And there's actually something really funny about one of the things that I have to just be vague, but it's great. So it's great and funny in a bad way, but it's going to be great. And that's as much of a tease I can give you all. But what about you? What's your week been like?
I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know if we mentioned it.
Not really.
What's been going on my week? Man, sleep schedule's fucked. Hanging out with the Discord a lot.
Sleep schedule.
Yeah. I just been hanging out with the Discord, the Storm fam, the people that submitted the questions. So it's been a lot of fun. A lot of Brawlhalla.
So much.
Yeah, and we've just been chilling and talking and video, calling and getting to know everyone in the community. So it's been a blast because a lot of the times as a content creator, when people comment on your stuff or watch your streams, you just kind of see a name. You can associate a personality with it and kind of piece by piece put together like their life and what they tell you. But you don't really know exactly who's behind the name all the time. So like being able to like have a conversation off stream, there's no pressure, video, and you can just kind of see everyone's expression. It's like really fun. And honestly, out of the 3 years I've been streaming, this is the most that my community has felt like a family and like so close ever. Like, and I've been enjoying it so much. Everyone's so kind. I get so many compliments on when people come into the community. So, I just want to thank them. I've been spending a lot of time with them. I was excited for Apex Season 8. I played a little bit of the medium. That game's really fun. I'm excited to continue that someday.
Do you feel like you have give yourself a percentage of what's the percent chance that you think you like the medium enough to complete it?
Oh, it's only like a 10 hour or 11 hour game. It's not long. So the only reason it's going to be lower is because of Apex Season 8 just came out. So it's going to be hard. I might have to just like play like an hour here, an hour there. And like, it might take a while, but
dude,
I think it's
Apex, man.
I know it poses for great content though. Like I've only played maybe 2 hours of the game and there's jump scares. There's intense chases. There's like, it's really cool mechanics, and the concept of the game is really interesting in the way that you just play it, and it definitely is worth it. Like I'm glad I got it. I got it off the Xbox Game Pass, and I've been having a lot of fun. I think the community's enjoyed watching it. It reminds me of just like Control. It has such a Control vibe where it's very eerie and intense, but it has jump scares and like it's like if Control was like a horror game, pretty much.
That sounds great to me.
Yeah, so I've been loving it. It's interesting. It's different. I saw a couple of reviews and people were kind of, at least the review that I read, the guy wasn't too thrilled about it, but I've been liking it a lot. Like I really think it's a solid game, and I want to keep playing it. But yeah, that's pretty much been my week. Typical TikTok, blah blah blah, same shit. Different day. Same old,
man. On the grind.
Yeah. So just been trying to fix the damn sleep schedule, man. It's been a little bit better the last couple of days, but Discord nights got out of hand for like a week where we'd stay up till like 5 or 6 a.m. just talking, because it's like time flies in the Discord because there's so many different like conversations that can happen, and like we just laugh, just have a good time. So I don't know. I've been loving it though. Everyone's so sweet and supportive of everyone. So
yeah, same. Yeah. And like tonight even. So like the typical Wednesday routine is that we record this and then I edit it and throw it up. And then while it's rendering and uploading everything, I watch AEW. And then so that's another like hour and a half usually, and eat or whatever. So now we're recording a little bit later today. So by the time I'm done, everything's all finished, I'm still like might want to hop in there and see if anyone wants to play Brawlhalla tonight, because that game's super fun. It's been a couple days since we played. And I don't know. It's thankfully this is good and bad, but it seems like we all have a bad sleep schedule. So at least like if someone's in there at 2 a.m. trying to hang out, there's usually at least a couple people there too.
Yeah.
So that's good because there's people there to be with, but it's bad because then if you start at 2, so then you might be there till 6.
Yeah.
And that's just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The goal is just to start at like midnight.
Yeah.
And get off at like 3 a.m. at the latest. Nice. Yeah. And then we can all still sleep and wake up before noon and, have a productive days. But if you're staying up like 6, 7 a.m. and you wake up at 4 or 5 p.m., not only do you like start the day like where there's like no daylight and you feel so groggy and just like, I don't know. It's such a weird thing that the human body like doesn't adjust to the time of the day. Like if you still get 8 hours, but you wake up at 5 p.m., I feel infinitely worse than if I got 8 hours and I sleep at like a normal time.
Yeah, especially during the winter when it gets dark at like 4:30. So yeah, if you go to bed at 6 and then wake up at 4 or 4:30, then you don't have daytime, and that's got to fuck with your body a little bit.
Yeah, I like because today was the first time that I went to the gym in the daytime in like forever.
Yeah,
it's like the third thing on my list to do every day. So, yeah. But anyways, we could talk about Apex Season 8. That came out yesterday. It was, man, props to Respawn, because I know this should be something that it should be like a standard that a game should run well on launch day. But Respawn has had so many problems with Apex, just servers crashing, games fucking up, you know, laggy servers, not disconnecting from the lobby, like all kinds of shit, friends list not working or whatever it may be. And Apex actually ran really well for when I was on. I heard there was a couple problems, you know, early on, maybe for like 10 minutes, but nothing crazy. And the season's been so much fun. I've enjoyed Kings Canyon more than I ever have.
Same. I really like it.
Yeah, it definitely grew on me the last time we played it a little bit, because the very first time it came back, I was like, I do not like this map, but they kept making changes and kept, you know, really trying. And the map feels like solid, you know. I really like the top part where they changed, you know, the back of like artillery and stuff, and the rotations are good. It seems like it plays well for every legend. They announced Fuse coming out, which he's really fun. I know you've been playing with him a lot. A new 30-30 repeater gun, the gold mags, and a bunch of patch notes for balancing. So
yeah,
we can just get your take on how you feel about Fuse and just all the stuff they added.
Yeah, Fuse is super fun. I have played him almost exclusively since the season started. We were switching on and off with him a little bit yesterday, but like playing with Justin, I've been him almost every game, and he's a lot of fun. I'm still getting used to exactly how and when to use his tactical and his ultimate, but he's just like he's pretty straightforward. He makes things go boom, and in a game like Apex, that's very helpful. But he doesn't feel overpowered at all. Like it's only been a day, so of course it's hard to say for sure. But so far, the only thing that I would say is crazy about him is just his distance with his attacks. His tactical, you can launch it the size of like 3 football fields, and his ult, you can launch it pretty far too. So if I just see like 2 teams fighting, we're way, way back here. Let me just throw this massive ring of fire on those guys and totally just fuck it up. But they both have pretty long the rechargeability or like recharge times, and they don't do insane damage. Like you're not gonna kill somebody with his ult at all unless they're already almost hurt or almost dead. He's fun. He's really quirky. I like his accent. I like his personality. A lot of his lines make me giggle. And Kings Canyon, like what you were saying, is a ton of fun. It's all the changes are positive from what I've seen so far. I still hate the cage so much, but World's Edge and Olympus have spots that I hate too, so it's okay. And I'm sure some people love the cage, but I don't like it. But that's fine. 30-30 repeater is a cool weapon, not one that I'm going to use much just because it's not the kind of weapon that I like to use in this game. But it's a great addition. I don't see anything wrong with it. Yeah. And it's been a ton of fun.
Yeah, I really like the 30-30 repeater. You have to be super accurate with it, so and it's not a fast shooting gun, but for a long distance map like Kings Canyon, or like say if you're in a ranked match, you probably want to run this gun because the damage output is amazing. Yeah,
a fully charged shot is like 90 damage to the head.
Yeah, it does 90. Maybe? Yeah, it does 100 to the head if you fully charge it, and the charge doesn't take that long when you're ADS, and like you might have to wait like a 0.5 seconds. Like it's not like you're just sitting there waiting for it every time.
Yeah.
So you can charge it like and then crouch back up, and then then have it loaded and charged and then shoot like that. That's what I've been doing. Yeah, it's a really fun gun. It saves on ammo. It's great. The gold mag is a cool idea. It's not too OP like I thought it would be. It definitely takes like 4 or 5 seconds before your gun reloads. And the only gun where you can continually like keep shooting forever is like a Spitfire with like a max purple mag, or like a gold mag.
Yeah.
Where it reloads. Spitfire's the only thing.
Yeah, but I did take that into the training range, even with and without Rampart, since Rampart has extra bullets. Right. You can, like, if you have 2 Spitfires with gold mags, which would be really hard to do in an actual game setting, but if you do have that, then you can just continuously shoot them both. But that's so situational. Right. I doubt you'll ever run into it, because who's going to run 2 Spitfires? And Yeah, and I do like the repeater. It's like a skill based weapon still. That's something that Apex is good with so many ultimates and each character having like specific things to them, their attacks and abilities and everything. I feel like this game could easily get out of hand if they started adding a bunch of like grenade launchers or rocket launchers or just absurd things, like kind of like what Fortnite does. But they continuously just add skill based weapons and nothing that totally breaks the game. And I think that's good here. Like if you get killed by a 30-30 repeater, it's because the other guy has great aim and he hits you a bunch of times or a few times.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, he fucked me over because he has this giant ass rocket launcher or something.
Yeah, and Fuse has he's been a lot of fun. I think he's a really cool character that can work with a lot of different teams, and he might have the best passive in the game just because
it's up there for sure.
Yeah, it works two different ways because of the stacking grenades alone is like an amazing passive, but he can launch it literally across a map.
You can throw grenades so far and so fast.
Yeah. Fast, far, and accurate. Like, yeah, his grenade launcher is pretty sick. It's almost too fast because it's like a fastball. It's so different than like using your arm. Like it just slings at them. So you just have to get used to like the speed of it. But
yeah, it's a very different trajectory than like every other character just throwing them, because you can't just throw them. Like he doesn't throw grenades at all. You have to use that ability if you shoot a grenade. So just getting used to that is important for sure.
I read somewhere that he could throw them.
Oh, really?
It was an option, but I haven't figured out how to do it.
Yeah, I haven't really even tried. I just know like if you equip the grenade like normal and then shoot it or throw it, then it like does it. But I guess there might be a way.
Yeah. But yeah, season 8's been great. It's been one of the best seasons that I've ever played. And I don't know. I really want to see how Fuse plays on all the different maps. I know they changed a bunch of like legend abilities and stuff, and Wraith's hitbox was probably the biggest patch note. But it's been fun, and the ranks, the whole rank system. If I was like even a little bit into ranked, like if you're an Apex player and you enjoy ranked, they made it a lot easier to rank up because it got to a point. Yeah, it was pretty tough to rank up in the past. Like you had to literally play it like nonstop. So it makes it's a little bit more forgiving for people. They upped the kill cap, which they should have done that a while ago.
Yeah. Is it 6 now or 7?
6.
6. Okay.
Which is only 1, but they up the placement as well. So like when you like factor in the multiplier in the math, it gives you a lot more points. So it'll be cool. They also have the diamond trails. Yeah, Apex is making good moves, and I figured they would as soon as they moved to Steam and with crossplay, because they just like they know this is the chance to really like capitalize because they're having the most new players they've ever had. So
2 days ago they broke their concurrent players record, which is awesome for a 2-year-old game. Like you see that a lot more often these days because so many games are built to last, but still seeing a game like Apex where it's still, you don't think of it when you think of like the top games like Fortnite or Dota or Rocket League or games like that. But it's set itself in a very, very good spot where it's super profitable. I'm sure their pro scene is great. It's very popular. It's in no, it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, and one last thing is Octane's jump pad is really good. So that's cool. They helped out my boy Octane. The anniversary skin collection event coming up within the next week is sick. So they're really upping their ante with cosmetics. They don't really give a shit about battle pass skins still. Like they just kind of throw some together. And some of them are cool. Weak. Yeah, like it's always like the buns like on the outside, level 1, and then 99, 100, 110 are always amazing or great. And then the meat of it from 2 to 98 is pretty much just whatever. Like I'll never use anything except for like the character skins. Or the skydive emotes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. From 2 to 99 is so you get like 3 skydive emotes a season. And maybe like a good voice line if you're lucky. But even the voice line is like, who cares? I said this to Justin earlier. Apex has like 8 billion things in the game, but only maybe 25 of them are worth anything. So it's like when you unlock something, like I'm getting, the next time I level up in the battle pass, I'm getting a gold loot box. But it's probably just going to be like a banner for Watson or something that I'm not even going to care about or use. The odds of it being an actual thing that I care about, which would only be a gun skin, a finisher, or a character skin, And then for a character that I actually want to use, which is probably only 3 different characters, it's just how it's set up. There's just too much. But
yeah.
So it would be.
So, but yeah, Apex has been great. Do you want to move on to our first question from the community?
Let's do it, because Eros asked us an Apex related question. So I feel like this would be a good time to sneak that one in there.
Let's do it. So your boy Eros, he says, what do you think about an Apex Legends team deathmatch game mode? Do you think you would keep playing, or would it be disappointing? I'll let you start.
I think because Apex was built from the ground up as a battle royale, they would have to put a lot of effort into a team deathmatch mode, which they've shown with Titanfall. They obviously can, and it would be amazing. But Apex is such a battle royale that it would be, since the team deathmatch would be the secondary mode, it would really split the player base, but not, it wouldn't be like 50-50. It would probably be like 90-10 towards the battle royale portion of it. Would still be like the 90% would be playing the BR version still. So I'm sure it would be fun, but it would probably just feel like extra, even if they put a lot of effort into it, it would probably just be like extra. It'd probably be what, like 4v4, maybe 5v5. So I think it would be fun, and they'd have to put so much effort into designing new maps for it to work, and I just don't see it happening. I wouldn't say it would be disappointing, but it wouldn't exactly, like, I wouldn't be over the moon about it. It would just be cool, and I would play it maybe every now and then, but it's not something that I'm really clamoring for.
Yeah, I think the idea is really cool, and I would play it. Obviously, I'd try it, but it just seems like there's so much chaos already in a battle royale, which is like a huge fucking map. So if you have a team deathmatch concentrated area, think about like all of the ults that are going to be used. I don't know.
Man,
it just seems like just so much, and I don't know exactly how they would do it. It would take so much balancing, and they probably need like a separate team for it, honestly.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to just grab like 2 or 3 people and say like, add this game mode. They would have to do so much.
But it's an interesting question. You know, we've heard rumors about there might being one, but we're not for sure. So
yeah, I think if they announce that they are doing it, I have faith that it would be good, and that it would be well put together and everything. Like I said, it's just not something I'm really looking forward to. But I would try it out.
Yeah. Moving on, we're going to move on to Brawlhalla announced a $1 million prize pool.
Damn.
You are the fighting connoisseur on this podcast. So what are your thoughts? We've been playing a lot of Brawlhalla in the Discord. It's a fun ass game. It's free to play, cross play. What are you thinking?
Brawlhalla has everything you want a fighting game to have, basically, which in 2021, if you're not just like a fighting game player, if you just play video games, it seems pretty standard. But if you're deep in the fighting game community, it is not standard. Brawlhalla feels like it goes above and beyond. But they just announced that they're in year 6 of their esports leagues, which is really cool. And the prize pool is $1 million, which, to give you a little bit of context, Mortal Kombat 11, which is the highest selling like true fighting game, like, because Brawlhalla it's more of like a party game. When you think of fighting games, you don't exactly think of platform brawlers like Brawlhalla or Smash Bros. Like, they're fighting games, of course, but it's just a little different. Anyway, Mortal Kombat 11 has allocated just 60,000 for the season. So yeah, and that game has sold millions upon millions upon millions of copies. So Brawlhalla being free to play, it's hard to compare. Like, you can't compare apples to apples here. But just $1 million versus 60,000 is crazy. Street Fighter's Premier Championship had 250,000 in 2019. So for them to just be like, boom, just flop their massive dick on the table and just $1 million. Here you go.
That Zol dick.
Yeah. Big time Zol dick on the table. So that's cool because it shows, like, it's published by Ubisoft, so it's not like there's some random ass small company. It shows that they really support their game, which is awesome, especially 6 years in. It shows that they actually care about the players, because that's going to be big motivation. It's going to get eyes on it. Because it's still, I think I checked the Steam charts earlier today, and I think like 12,000 people or something were playing it. So it is very, very popular still. And it's just great to see, because it's a fighting game and it's fun, and it seems to be it's really well made. And supporting the people that play your game, especially for this long, is awesome. And hopefully high tides rise all ships, as I've said many times on this podcast. Maybe other fighting game companies will see this and be like, oh shit, they're giving out $1 million. We might be able to pony up a little bit more cash.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's
hell yeah.
Yeah, because if it's hard, if you even have a chance to compete for this $1 million, you dedicate a vast majority of your time to the game. Yeah. You can't just like stroll into an esports scene and like trip your way into the finals or something. It's not like that at all. People play these games as their life. So it's nice for them to see them get rewarded with a lot of money.
I haven't looked into it as much, but I wonder if it's like a 1v1 or like 4 players. Like, how's that work?
I haven't looked into it too much either, but from what I've seen, I think it's 1v1.
Okay.
And it's
I like that.
Yeah, they just treat it like any other fighting game, just 1v1, double elimination.
Yeah.
Like, so they
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be so much fun. I would totally watch that. I would compete, like, obviously not in like the $1 million pro scene or whatever, but if someone just announced, hey, I got a Brawlhalla tournament and free to sign up or whatever, I would totally do that. And it's a great game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have a bunch of the tournaments in the game that you can join. So
yeah, like,
it's a really cool thing.
Yeah, it's really feature rich. Very, it's set up like, very free to play with, you can buy your skins and everything. So it has a ton of cosmetics. It has a good training mode, a good tutorial.
Crossovers up the ass.
Yeah, crossovers up the ass for sure. Some from The Walking Dead to the WWE. It has rollback netcode, so we've been able to play online, and we haven't had any issues. Yeah, we play with like Becca in our community that's in the Discord now. She lives in Ireland. And and we're just
on Mars.
And we live in America in the Midwest, and we're just playing with her like she's next door. It's great. Can't even tell that she's all like, fuck, I'm fighting Becca now. She's gonna be lagging all over the place. Like, it's not at all. It's fantastic.
It's been so much fun.
Yeah, so much fun. Love it.
So yeah, congrats to Brawlhalla for doing that. It was like a out of nowhere announcement, and I'm sure the Brawlhalla community is fucking hype because I saw one of the first comments on it was like, I think the guy's name is like Sandstorm or something. They're like, oh, he's gonna be happy walking away with 300K or whatever.
Damn.
And I was like, because like, imagine if you've been no life in like a game like this, and you had no idea they're gonna have this tournament. Like, imagine that you're just the best game you've ever been at, but you're at the top and you've been streaming it. Everyone knows you, and then all of a sudden they announce that tournament. You're like, oh, let me grab this bag real quick.
Yeah, that's life-changing money.
Yeah,
because $1 million split. I don't know how big their pro scene is, but I obviously, like, a majority of the money I would assume would go to like the top 8 players probably. So if you know that you're in that, or maybe if whoever the Sandstorm guy is, if you know that at worst you might get top 3 or top 5, that's life-changing money.
Yeah, it does say across all regions. So maybe like say NA is gonna have like 250 grand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. So, the only pro scene that I'm super like deep into and can tell you all the nitty-gritty stuff is the Mortal Kombat scene. So I don't know much about Brawlhalla's competitive scene in terms of how, if they do like a weekly series of events where you build up points and then at the end whoever has the most points, or if there's a big grand finals tournament. I don't know exactly how they run it. I'm sure it's easy to find out. If you guys are interested, you can check it out. But it's cool, and they stream it on Twitch too, so that's always fun. And maybe this will mean some more crossovers because the game is obviously still popular and still booming. So
if you get a C4OL crossover,
yes. If I could be if I could be a Thatch alternate skin, I'd buy that so fast.
I would love to be Zol.
Yeah, they because if it's the right character, I'll drop some money on that game. They're a little expensive for my taste, but like if it's the right character, I play that game enough now where I'd buy it. I think what is it like? The crossover characters are like $6 or $10 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, anywhere from like 6 to 12ish sometimes.
Yeah, I haven't fuck it, dude. I'm buying like one-time thing. Sure.
Yeah, if I think about what I've spent on Fortnite and Apex combined, I could probably put down a mortgage on a fucking house. So put down a payment.
Apex be charging $18 for a character skin. Fortnite charging $20. Or I guess now that V-Bucks are cheaper. Fort's cheap as hell now. Like their prices, if they would have had those prices when we played, I would have spent probably double, dude. Oh my god.
It's so hard. I don't even like play the game at all anymore, but if I log on there for like one day, it's hard for me not to buy stuff, and I barely play it at all. That's how like good the prices are. The store is fucking massive. Like it's the biggest I've ever seen it. People are probably making trillions on their fucking creator code now. Like it's insane.
And some people buy like the generation right under us. I think like obviously we're in it too, but the generation under us, they're so just baked into this where like there are people there that think, oh, there's a new Fortnite skin, so I have to buy it. They don't think like, oh, I'm gonna wait for the one that I want, or this one looks cool. It's just like, all right, we got some new skins, time to go buy them. Like one of my coworkers' little brothers is really into Fortnite, and last time I went to their place, he was like playing for it, and I saw him go to his locker, and he could have scrolled for days. Jeez. I'm like, fam, how do you buy this? Like, you have he had the same job I did at the time. Like, there's no way I could afford this, and you got like 50 billion skins. It's crazy. I mean, probably good for him, but damn.
He gets his tips in V-Bucks. He doesn't even get money.
Yeah, he probably leaves a little note like, if you could tip me in V-Bucks, that'd be great. Just cut out the middleman. I don't need that cash. Just give me the V-Bucks.
Yeah, get that shit out of my face. I don't want to cut down the steps. I just want the renegade way to.
Oh man, that's
all
fun.
right. So should we move on to question number 2?
Let's do it.
Okay. Question number 2 from the community is from Sandra. Shout out to the girl Sandra.
Woo.
She says, if you could create a video game, what would it consist of? And we brushed over a question similar to this a while ago, but for the sake of answering questions, we might have a different answer this time. I've completely forgot what I said.
Same.
So I'm gonna try to think of something new and exciting. But what is your answer? What video game would Stadium Beats look like?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say without like just saying, oh, it'd be The Last of Us, but like this instead. But so I'm gonna try not to do that. Basically, okay. So if I could create a video game, it would be, I'm gonna do what I just said. It's hard not to do. It would be Ninja Gaiden. Think about how Ninja Gaiden plays, the newer ones, not the old like NES games. The newer Ninja Gaiden games, third person, hack and slash, action adventure, that kind of thing, and fast combat. Combo-based combat, super bloody and gory, all that good fun stuff. A story that makes sense, that's like competent, because Ninja Gaiden gets kind of out there a little bit. Try to maybe keep it more grounded, like something like The Last of Us or Uncharted. Uncharted gets a little mystical too, but you know what I'm trying to say. And then, but it has a major online component, kind of like what For Honor tried to do, except it keeps the crazy combo-based fighting that the story mode has. So For Honor kind of has like a rock, paper, scissors kind of thing. Like if they're attacking up, you block up or you dodge left or something like that. So it's a little bit more like, it's cool and it's really good, but it's still a little bit like toned down a little bit. But if you could make it so you have Ninja Gaiden style gameplay that runs and plays like a Call of Duty online, that's it for me. That's the only game I own.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. Just being able to have crazy ninja battles with actual good combos. And back in the day when Ninja Gaiden was so popular, rollback netcode was like a pipe dream. So it would just seem like that game could never work. But now people are doing one frame links in Street Fighter like it's nothing all the way across the planet, and it's amazing. So just transfer that over to a third person hack and slash game and I'm in.
What does a one frame link mean?
A one frame link is like, let's say, in as most layman terms as possible, let's say you want to do punch, kick, special move, and then going from kick to special move, it doesn't connect unless you do the special move input in the exact frame that it would connect. So you have to, if you do this dragon punch, like the kick, it doesn't combo very well, but the dragon punch, if you do it in this one frame, then it'll hit. That's like the most layman's way I can explain it without getting too technical, but you basically just have one frame to hit the move, otherwise it'll miss.
And that's why people get frustrated trying to learn a fighting game.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, but that's so like top tier stuff. Like you're not going to go into the tutorial and in beginner mode they're like, oh, let's try a one frame link. Like you're not going to get that, but that's like the top of the top stuff. People are doing that.
Nice. Learn something new every pod.
Yeah, I try.
You know what they say. Okay. Let's see. So you do like a Ninja Gaiden online type game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think what I would do is I would have pretty much the style that Destiny has, where you have like your story mode, you have a nice space theme, you can upgrade your armor, but you can also play online, and then you have Iron Maiden where you can use your actual gear and matchup. But I would probably go with I'd probably have like different mechanics in terms of movement, and I would probably want it to look like Gears, look and feel like Gears, but it'd be Destiny.
Okay.
Maybe something like that, and then it has like an amazing story mode. But I'd want it also to be like a MOBA or like a like WoW,
Like an MMO.
Yeah, like an MMO is what I meant. Like an MMO where you and your friends have all your gear and you go and fight like through dungeons and stuff, and you have like your clique. You know, you have your huge group, and you all have this armor. You're just grinding for it, and you have these badass weapons, and you're like super athletic too, where you can have combos. Like it has melee and gunplay. I don't know, that it'd be really cool if something like that. Pretty much just like WoW, but as like a third person shooter.
I'd be into
That'd be
that.
insane. Yeah.
That'd be cool. I wish. Sorry, you go.
I was gonna say, just because it'd be like, I feel like that would be one of those games where you could literally, it would almost be a toxic to make that game, because it would be so good that you would put in so much time. Like you see what WoW does to draining people's lives. So I honestly don't know if I would go outside another day in my life. So I don't know if I want that game made.
People have like 5 years of gameplay time on World of Warcraft.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's scary.
It's nuts. Damn.
It's scary.
It's kind of like, I feel like the game closest to what you're describing is Warframe, but there's always been something about Warframe that doesn't grab me. I don't think the combat feels satisfying enough or something. I don't know what it is, but Warframe, I feel like goes for that, but it's definitely not the same.
Warframe feels like, I don't know. Warframe sounds, or it feels like a game that someone made, some like indie team made, but then they just splashed like shiny paint on it and turned the gain, brightness, just every bar maxed out. Like it just feels like too shiny of a game. Like it doesn't, I don't know. It just feels like unfinished to me, or there's something, like you said, that's off with it, where it doesn't feel very like a solid like foundation game, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It's hard to explain. I've given it 2 legitimate tries and it just didn't grab me either time. Maybe I just didn't try the right character or something, but I don't know. Shout out to Warframe though, because it's been going hard for years and it's still really popular.
Yeah. I've heard it's a great game. It just, I don't know. It didn't stick for me, unfortunately.
Same.
So
sorry.
We're 45 minutes. I want to say real quick, we're 45 minutes in, so we can get through this topic and the questions, and we should be right around our key time slot.
Yeah. I want to point out, if by topic, did you mean the GoldenEye remaster?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to really quick say GoldenEye remastered. So GoldenEye is very near and dear to people our age's heart, man. It's just GoldenEye is one of the, like, I've always been into video games, but having my cousin bring over his Nintendo 64 on Christmas and playing GoldenEye all day and night when I was like maybe 6 years old or something is one of my most fondest video game memories ever. And people just adore the game. And because it's made by Rare and kind of owned by Nintendo, and now Rare is kind of owned by Microsoft, and the rights with James Bond in general, that game is just so fucked in terms of rights, and that's why just nothing has ever really happened with it. But apparently they must have got really close back in the day, because in 2007 they were going to make a GoldenEye remastered and put it on the Xbox Live Arcade. But it just never happened. And as of this week, it actually leaked online. Someone put out a video of them playing through it, and now it's available for you to get. It is not legal to download this though, so I'm just letting you know that it is out there, reporting the news here as we do on the Chillin' for Our Lives podcast. And it actually looks very, very good. If you keep your expectations in check. It's a 2007 remaster of a game that was made in the 1990s. So it doesn't look like Destiny or anything like that, of course. But everything looks more high res. It looks way more like the actors in the game. The textures, everything looks awesome. It's the entire game, so you can watch somebody play through the whole thing. And it looks really, really cool. And it just brought back so many memories. And just watching the guy play through a lot of it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I just kind of skipped through to certain parts. And it was really cool. And it really sucks that game just doesn't exist or could never exist.
Too sad, man. Fucking laws and rights and shit when it comes to owning stuff. Like greed, it kills like the potential for dream games.
Yeah, I don't get why people can't just be like, I own this thing, you own this thing, let's get this thing done. It's so, especially for something like that that's so easy. That would have printed money in 2007. It probably still would now. And it seems like it should be so easy because I don't know. It's a home run that should happen. I don't know what the talks were. Maybe someone wanted 50% of the cut with the other person said it should have been like 70-30. Who the hell knows? But it just seems like it would be so easy to just say like, I own this cool thing. You own the rest of this cool thing. Let's just get together and make this cool thing.
Yeah, I want to know how I even got to that point of just arguing. You know, like whoever sold it in the beginning or like gave partial rights, like they should have had a contract laid out with just like, for this game only, you know, we'll give you 50%, but anything in the future is ours, or it's this percent, and that's just how it's going to be. You signed the contract. Now let's make this fucking game. Like, I don't know the legalities to it, but that's just my opinion. I know it's never that easy, but it's just annoying.
It's annoying that it's not that easy.
Yeah. It should be, but
yeah, like with Sony and Spider-Man. Like with Spider-Man could totally just not be a part of the MCU now. But because Sony was like, sure, yeah, we own Spider-Man, but we'll give him to you because it would be fucking awesome. We're going to give him to you and you're going to make a bunch of movies with them and everyone is going to be happy. Who saw that news and was like, oh man, Spider-Man's going to be with the other Marvel characters? Shucks.
Yeah.
Everyone's pumped.
Right.
And they make so much money now. Like so.
Oh my God, dude. They could fill a country with money.
Yeah. They could break it all down into $100 bills and still fill the country with cash that they've made from Spider-Man coming over. It's so much. And the same thing could happen with GoldenEye. Like obviously not to that level, but it would be profitable for all parties involved, guaranteed. I would buy it. Like
they could invest in GameStop with that money too. You know, they could. I don't know.
We'd see them on the moon in a week.
They would literally be on the moon.
Yeah.
Literally, along with the Pog Wave.
As long as they had diamond hands and held the line, we'd see them on the moon. I don't know if they got paper hands or not.
Depends if they have the golden rod in Pokemon. Isn't that the best rod?
No, the golden rod is the name of a city in Pokemon.
What's the best rod? Master Rod?
Is there? I don't know. There's a super rod that works.
Super rod, a great rod, regular rod. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it goes old rod, great rod, super rod, maybe.
Yeah. Elite Rod. I don't know why that sounds so dirty, Rod.
Dude,
I don't know. Who the fuck's Rod?
I know, dude. There's something dirty as fuck with that. So, you know, you remember Urban Dictionary? You know Urban Dictionary, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, with Goldenrod, when in high school, me and my friend were playing through Pokemon Silver in class, in a computer class. And we just got to Goldenrod and we were like, all right, this sounds funny. This is funny. So he submitted a Goldenrod term to Urban Dictionary and it didn't go through though. They denied his request. So that was unfortunate. Damn. But it was pretty funny. That's all I'll say. It was pretty funny.
There's always like an explanation for something dirty. Always.
Yeah. I had a teacher in high school that used to say, you know, like with acronyms and stuff to help you remember things. He would always say, he would like, here, I've got this one that you can remember it. So you can remember, I don't know, let's just say PEMDAS, for example. So you can remember parentheses in the order of operations with PEMDAS. There is another one that works even better, but it's really dirty. So I can't tell you guys. He would always do that. And I want to know if he actually has a dirty one that works well or if he would just say that to get us mad. But it always worked.
He's probably being for real.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would always say that he learned them in college, but I never learned any dirty acronyms in college. Well, for like remembering stuff.
Right. Yeah. Fuck math anyways.
I want to call him up and send him an email. Like, oh, remember that dirty PEMDAS acronym? Can you hook me up with that? As a 28-year-old, I really need to remember PEMDAS.
Yeah, that's gonna be hype though. I'm excited to watch other people illegally play that.
Yeah,
and yeah,
there's probably someone streaming it right now. Shout out to them, putting their neck out there.
Putting that neck. Letting that neck hang on the highway. It's ready.
I saw a funny meme of someone like, guys just want the curves, and then they post a picture of the curves, and it's someone with like their neck all fucked up sitting at a computer desk.
What the hell?
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, that's probably what I look like sitting at my computer desk. My neck's all fucked up.
All right. Well, going into the final sex. What did I say? Sex.
The sexment.
We're gonna have lots of sex at the end of this podcast. This will be episode 69.
Oh yeah.
It actually works out.
This is a very 69-less episode.
I was gonna say section and segment at the same time, so I said sexment.
I'm down.
All right, the final community question segment. The first question is by the wonderful
K-Dubs.
K-Dubs asks, what are the best and worst parts of human nature?
Oh man. The worst part of human nature,
I love how that's how you start.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the worst, but it's definitely up there with the really crappy parts of human nature, is our tendency to feel like we have to be part of a group and fuck the other group. Like, or not fuck the other group, but you know what I mean? Like, screw that other group.
They're not us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Us versus them. There you go. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Us versus them. I'm over here and everyone else that's not here, I hate. I don't like
us
that.
versus the world.
Yeah, I don't know if that's part of human nature, but it's like originally, but it is now baked into human nature, and I don't like it one bit. Let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
I don't like it one bit.
I think it stems from just like prehistoric, like if you're surviving and trying to get food and stuff, like you really can't trust anyone. It's like IRL Among Us. So it's like us versus, whoever. Don't let them like take our shit or try to attack us because we can't trust anyone.
Yeah,
so,
I just shot that deer with an arrow, and that's gonna feed my family for the next 3 days. But that guy over there just sees that dead deer and he's coming for it. But it's my deer. I gotta go get it. So then you gotta fight for the deer. You gotta survive, man.
Yo, that would suck ass to live in that time.
That would suck so bad.
Like you're wearing like 3 leaves to cover your cock, and you're trying to like hunt down, animals, and just like being near all that blood and stuff. I don't know. I wouldn't last a day.
Yeah, imagine having to skin a deer like regularly.
Fuck, dude, that's brutal.
Yeah, and that's your job. Is like, I have to go hunt tonight. That's me and the gang me and the boys are going hunting. And that's just what you do so you can live, because you don't have to go get a job because you just have to eat. That's number one priority. You can't go to Walmart and buy groceries for the week.
Yeah, ain't no Twitch Primes for the cavemen.
No.
What would you say the best part of human nature is?
Wait, hold on real quick. Are you with me on that? Or like, did you want to say one that you don't like or a bad part? Or do you want me to say a best?
You can go best, or you can go with your best.
Okay. Some of the best parts is I feel like humans are, despite what you might get if you live on social media, I think humans at their nature or like at their core are usually pretty like nice and caring. Like if someone is in trouble or if something really bad is happening, it's usually people try their best to make things turn out okay or to help out somebody. And I think that's really nice, where people seem to be, for the most part, pretty caring, and it's always nice to see. That's a good part. That's
really nice. Yeah. Someone's like out on the side of the road. A lot of the times, maybe not now with quarantine and everything, but a lot of the times people, at least somebody will come help.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if there's like a little kid in the like lost in a grocery store, like crying for their mom or something, someone is going to help them, and everyone's not just going to be walking around like, oh, well, there's this kid. Like someone's going to help. And that's always really nice.
The best part about human nature is, I would say, people are genuinely or generally empathetic to others. As far as like if someone's going through something like a lost one or they had a bad day, people are generally like, they can empathize with that because everyone has their bad days and stuff. So I think that's probably the best part of human nature. I think as you get older, people understand just how everyone goes through insecurity, because like during high school, everyone's trying to figure it out, so there's like stuff like bullying or whatever. But once you get into your like 20s, anywhere from like 21 and above, like after high school and stuff, people understand like that everyone's insecure. And I do feel like the generation coming up now is a lot nicer than the generation I grew up in.
I think so too. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, when I coached, I like helped coach a couple teams for basketball, and all of the kids were just so respectful. And I remember the class that I graduated with and the ones below me, they were like they would say anything. They were wild, right? They would talk back, make dick jokes like out loud. Like they had a lot less respect, and these kids were so like, maybe it's just because my perspective changed and I was like the adult figure, so I was just different for me. But yeah, I think that's another thing. In terms of worst parts of human nature, probably the fact, it would probably tag along with your point, where people are so strong to force, not even share, but force their opinion on you if they don't agree. It's almost like it's a need, right? It's like their top priorities are 1, family, 2, eat, 3, argue on social media. Like someone says, I don't like this is gross. And it's part of the person who posts its fault in the way that they put it. Like, it depends on what tone you put. If you say, I fucking hate broccoli, it's disgusting, anyone who likes it, you're the scum of the earth, then you're inviting that argument.
Yeah, drive those impressions, bro.
Yeah, you're definitely driving impressions and farming the clout, or whatever you want to call it. But
no, farming the clout's perfect.
Yeah, but I think I don't know, it's just a weird thing that I see on social media, where if somebody has a different opinion than even like say the majority, if you're going against the grain, like everyone's gonna come and attack that person, and no one ever puts context with anything. They see headline. It's almost like it's literally journalism 101, is to put the most clickbaity title that is completely not even a part of the story, and then to clip out context and like make the juiciest like impression farming thing you can do, and people fall for it still. And it's so sad to me. Like almost 9 times out of 10 where something happens and there's like a headline or whatever, all you have to do is either just look through the comments or go to the article, and you'll figure out that it's completely bullshit. And no one does that. And I always do that for context, because I like to know what actually happened. And 9 times out of 10, everyone that's like freaking out and super emotional about whatever happened, like they didn't even do any research. And it's just like, oh my God. So
yeah, I recently discovered a feature on Twitter where if someone posts the link and then you retweet it, if you haven't clicked on the link, Twitter knows that, and it'll say, would you like to read the article before retweeting this? And ooh, that's cool. Yeah, that's actually really cool. And I don't know how long that's been a thing, but I saw somebody tweet an article that I had seen earlier in the day. So I didn't I didn't click on it in Twitter, because I already knew what it was talking about. So I just went to retweet it, and it was like, whoa, hold up. You haven't even read this. Do you want to read it first? So blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, hell yeah, Twitter. I don't want to read it because I already did, but nice. So,
but thanks.
Yeah. So I really like that. Will 99.9% of people just click like, fuck you, I want to retweet it still? Sure. But yeah, Twitter can only do so much as a platform. They can't change how everyone thinks. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's going to be huge. Like, that's going to be a funny thing where someone retweets something and the first comment under it's going to be a screenshot of saying, hey, do you want to read this? And that's it. That's the only context.
That's and everyone's going to laugh. That's a great idea. Yep. Like, y'all should have click this, fam.
Yeah, so that'll be a nice thing. So that was the first question by K-Dubs. She also submitted another one, which is, if you died today, how would you be remembered?
Oh, man. I hate that question.
Do you want to answer for each other?
Sure. Only because I don't know what I would be remembered for. Like, I don't... Like, for my family, I guess? Like, I don't know, because it's not like I would be remembered on like a grand scale, which is fine. I know that's not exactly what the question was asking, but I don't really know. So yeah, we can answer for each other then. Yeah.
Okay, I would say you would probably be remembered for like when I think of that, I think of like the community probably, and just like
it would just be
friends and
people that
family.
like, yeah, exactly. It'd be like friends and family, people that really know me personally, I would assume.
I would just think people would be like, he was super kind. I don't know. You're always really selfless. Like I remember days. I mean, you've helped me with a number of like problems with like my PC and stuff when you really don't have to, and it could be inconvenient. And I don't know. You're probably like one of the most selfless people. You're a very good listener. You're just a good person, and I think people just like your vibe. I guess like in the community too. Like they're just like, oh, it's Stadium, and then like hopefully it's like music and stuff too, and and stuff with your career. But it's as a person, that's probably what I'd say.
Yeah, if I could make it on like a grand scale, it would be great to just like have my music make some kind of impact. Like I'm not in it competitively. Like as people say, like, I want to be known as the best of all time or something. I'm not on that, but that would be cool. And for you, I think if people that know you, they would say, I'm sure the most that people would say or that you would hear about would be how much you just grinded everything over the past couple of years, or like for as long as like the community has known you, obviously, because they didn't know you before ElectricityWave, obviously. So they would knowing like just how much, like between how much you stream or post videos or post TikToks or post like whatever. I think the obvious like drive to success, I think, would be one of the most like brought up segments or sections of everything.
I like that.
Yeah.
That was a great question though, Kate. It's something I don't normally think about. So
yeah, same.
Yeah, it's very.
I was kidding specific. When I said I hate this question. I just didn't really know a good answer for myself.
Right. Yeah, you said like you hated it for your fault, not hers.
Yeah. It's a great question.
Yeah. Our final questions are brought in by the magnificent Kaya.
Brought to you by Gatorade.
She asks, "What's one thing you struggle with?"
Oh man,
one thing.
My laziness. I've said that on the pod a million times, but that's the answer. I'm lazy as fuck. And
we do get the pod out every week though, so
yeah. I mean,
not that lazy.
Yeah, that's true. We get the pod out every week. But if I had to do a podcast by myself every week, I wouldn't be getting it out every week. I could tell you that for sure. But yeah, I just want to. Obviously, everyone just wants to do what they want to do. Of course, that's so easy. But like, I do just do what I want to do way more often than I should, and that's not good.
Yeah.
I just want to play Apex or make music or watch this tournament or do something like that and chill. Watch all 310 episodes of South Park in a summer, like just that. So that's one thing I struggle with.
What's an ideal day for you? Like, say you can perfectly manage your time and energy. Like, how much time would you spend for relaxation, and what would you put towards work and the music?
In a perfect world, if I would basically just work on, I would be super productive. Okay, so let's say I wake up at 9 a.m. I'm productive in terms of like getting ready for the day and just chilling. Like getting ready, but kind of chilling, maybe have a podcast on or something and just relaxing, eating breakfast, that kind of thing for an hour. And then from that hour up until like way later in the day, like maybe 7 or 8 is I'm just doing productive things, whether getting errands done, cleaning, working on music, whatever. And then from there, just let's say 8 o'clock, for example, until I fall asleep, I do nothing or just exactly what I want to do. Like not be productive. Some days, of course, that would be sometimes like, working on music for me is productive and I want that to be my job, but also it's fun for me. So I can include that every now and then. I can, instead of playing a video game, I'll like work on this song because that's fun too. But that would be ideal, is just get everything done during the day so I can then do nothing at night and not feel bad about it.
I feel like you normally do that. It might not be exactly, but it's like a good framework.
Yeah, that's the framework I go for, and I try. And it like right now I'll do Shift or I'll work on music during the day. Especially with Shift being able to create my own schedule, I should work a little bit more than I do at least. But I've been good so far with getting out there and making sure I hit my quota for the week. But it should just be a little bit more. Like I shouldn't have 1,400 hours on Apex and all these,
That's a lot.
Yeah, and all these other games. Like I'm so
Well,
what?
I was gonna say real quick. I was gonna say about the Apex thing. I think quarantine played a like massive factor in that because you literally like were laid off. Like everyone was just home. So like, I mean, you're getting paid to play it.
That's very true. Like now that makes me feel a little better because I did last summer. I did put out that like Stuck in the Cycle playlist for like I did put that out. Like I put out a lot of beats and stuff last year. So I guess considering quarantine, like that helps a lot. But I'm just too caught up on too many things, you know? Like I shouldn't be so knowledgeable about so many different shows and anime and games and songs and things. Like I shouldn't have that much time to put into stuff that in the grand scheme of things doesn't really matter.
It helps for the pod though, because if you just grinded the shit out of music and I just grinded the shit out of content, I don't know if we'd have much to talk about.
Yeah. Be like, look how great I EQ'd this bass drum last night. That was I spent 8 hours on that bitch. You guys better like it. That'd be the whole pod. Like, see how well the bass line dips and all this stuff? It would be the worst podcast ever.
I would say for me, one thing I struggle with is probably I feel like I put a lot on my plate and obviously my sleep schedule probably ruins. It doesn't ruin, like I still do get stuff done, but I feel like if I woke up at 9 a.m., I would feel like a superhero because I would have everything I wanted to get done by 5 p.m. I'd be able to stream at like 6, and then I'd be able to hang out in the Discord, and I'd be going to bed at like midnight. I mean, it'd be the same thing I do, but I would probably have more energy because my body would be sleeping when it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So I would just say like time or like maybe more, not really time management, but task management, and could probably get better. It's definitely improved from last year. Last year I spent so many hours just sitting at my computer trying to think of ideas or just like, I don't know, watch it was like empty learning almost.
Yeah.
And yeah, like now when I only research stuff when I have like, all right, how do I want to get better YouTube video? Like I know exactly what my goal to like look for is, and I have a better roadmap on kind of what I want to do and how I want to grow. So it's gotten better. But yeah, I would just say I put a lot on my plate. So I feel like I'm always catching up in life right now. Like every day I'm just like, I'm going to be late for this. I'm going to be late for this. I'm catching up. So getting my sleep schedule would probably like help a lot for just being on time.
Yeah, I definitely feel better when I wake up at 9 versus 1.
Yeah.
Just mentally. Because when I wake up at 1, these days I wake up and I think, oh shit, what time is it? Yeah. So, and then, so that's the first thought that enters my brain. And then I look at the clock and it's like 1. So then my second thought is shit. So then that's 2 negatives to start the day. So that's bad. And then, but before, like I'd say probably a month ago and before, I would wake up at like 9:30 or 10. So then I would just know that that's what time it is and just get up and be everything's fine. So I feel like just even that might seem like a really little thing, but even just starting your day with the first thoughts being positive is probably good too.
Dude, I know exactly that feeling where you're just like, I almost don't even want to look at my phone.
Yeah, it's scary.
Like I don't even, because I always have that question too of like, oh, what time is it? And then if I look and it's like fucking dinner time, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Like, oh, cereal for breakfast? Nah, fam. I've been up for 15 minutes. I mean, cereal for dinner. I meant to say, not breakfast. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Speaking of meals and stuff, Kaya's last question talks about lunch. She said, if you could go out to lunch with your kid self, what would you tell them?
Oh, man.
Great question.
I would say, I'll answer first. I would say don't go to college until you know exactly what you want to go to college for. Do that. That's important. And I would say just I never really cared what people thought about me, but like really these people that you're with in school and stuff and how social status seems like it matters so much. Like I know you don't care about that, but care even less about that.
Yeah.
Those are probably the 2 big things I would say. Oh, and that passion that you have for music that you think is just some random fun hobby and music is great or whatever. Like, get into that now. Don't wait until you're like, I'm not too old, but don't wait. Like, don't push it off. Like, you can do something with this, so do it. Don't just think you have to go and work a 9 to 5.
Yep. I love those answers. I would probably say similar stuff. Yeah. My first thing would be, don't give a like truly understand how insecure people that judge you are, and to just channel your energy into people that are good friends, and to just be yourself. If you don't fit in, there's someone else, or you can just be by yourself. Like, don't, like, I don't know. I always was trying to fit in with just whoever. So, yeah, just being yourself and start your own group, you know? That's what I like about streaming too, is I just kind of create my own friend group.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I literally delete somebody and block them if I don't want them in.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
That's got to be a great feeling. You can literally push a delete button on someone's life, and then they don't exist for you anymore, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
So, the whole like streaming thing, or I would say the same thing probably about college, is just, you know, I probably wouldn't even go back to college, even though it's a good foundation. But if I could tell my younger self, I'd just be like, don't even worry about college. Just try a bunch of shit. Like the homie Gary V says, just taste and try a bunch of shit. Like whatever you can, find out where you're good at, and then do that and go fucking hard in it. And that's kind of what I did. But I found streaming, like I'm who knows, I might have started streaming like a year later, but I don't know, we started watching so many different YouTube videos of Dashy, and then we would laugh and love him. And Sal kind of like just threw the question up of just like, why don't you start this? Like, I literally said it out loud, I would love to do this for a living. And then he said, why don't you? And I'm so glad he said that, because, you know, I might have started later, and I wish I could have started earlier, but Twitch kind of was like a late thing. No one, like, we heard of it, and it was like an Xbox app, but we had no idea really what it was or like how it worked. So, I mean, I guess it just started when it started, like the right time. So, and I don't know. I guess I would just say to, you know, take the gym serious, like from the start, and learn how to fucking diet. Like, I wish that I could have got a trainer really young, like a nutritionist, and just learned how to do it for myself. Which I probably could still like go and research, but I don't know. There's so many different answers when it comes to health and fitness on every little thing. So, and it does depend on who you are. Like, different stuff works for different people, but I don't know. I just live life, take risks, and be smart with whatever you do, and yeah, just chase your passion. I'm pretty much feel like I would do what I would tell my younger self. So the only thing I would fix is probably just my attitude in high school. Yeah.
Oh, and since I'm at lunch with myself, I would say don't feel bad that you just ordered a plain cheese pizza, because 20 years later, that's still the shit you're eating, and it's all good, fam.
Yep.
So just your uncle's gonna say, "Well, you gonna dip those chicken tenders in ketchup?" You're like, "Hell yeah, I am," and I'm gonna do it for the rest of my life. So you eat what you want, and I'm gonna eat what I want. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I never understand why people care so much about what someone else is doing.
Yeah, like if you want to dip your chicken tenders in ranch, that's cool. I mean, ranch is awesome, but you know, barbecue sauce, ranch, whatever, like, or some crazy 5-star caliber restaurant sauce. So you go do you, fam. Yep.
Dip it in fucking ice cream, dude. Just do your thing.
Yeah, I'll be over here with my Heinz ketchup.
Yep.
It's gonna be great.
But I do think that about wraps it up.
I think you'd be right.
We covered a lot of fun stuff, a lot of great questions from the Storm Community Discord. So thank you guys once again. If we didn't get to your question, we will cover it most likely in the next episode or two.
Yes, we got a lot of questions this week, which is amazing. Yeah. The more questions, the better. But we don't want to just answer questions for the whole episode. So we will answer your questions a different episode next week. Kea had the idea in the Discord that we should do sorry if you were going to do this and I'm totally stepping on your toes right now, but KS had the idea of having a Valentine's Day episode next week, which we were probably going to do something Valentine's Day maybe anyway, but We are taking any and all Valentine's Day related questions, relationship questions, things like that. We can dedicate more time to it for that episode than what we typically would. Like today was probably like 20 minutes or whatever, but all of the questions next week, it's going to be great. Relationship stuff, love stuff, romance stuff, Valentine's stuff. You know. So hit us up with those.
Hit us up with those. And we do have some exciting things in the works as we speak. So I hope you guys are, ready for those little and medium and maybe big announcements coming up. So it's going to be just some fun stuff, some changes. We're excited to show you guys and tell you guys. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you no matter what platform you are on. We see the data. We appreciate the comments, the feedback. Thank you so much for listening to Chillin' for Our Lives, episode 69. We'll see you next week for the Valentine's Day edition. And until then, stay chill.